Alex has a tendency to like start quite like normal, but then when we actually start, he goes really loud.
No change there then. No change, Emily. So tell me some more. Right, cool. We ready to go?
Yeah.
Louis, we're here today, pod and pour,
Yep.
in this beautiful podcast studio. Just tell me all about it, your journey, everything, and how we have got to literally sitting in these chairs doing a podcast.
Cool. So I guess it started, I've always had an interest in photography. I would just be capturing stuff on my dad's video camera. And then I did it at school, then university, and then did it professionally. But where it really excelled, I guess, is I used to wakeboard, got an injury, and then that put me on the camera a lot more. So I'd start filming my mates, we'd make sponsorship videos, and then it kind of progressed from there.
Oh, fantastic. Because for me, you've got an amazing opportunity. You speak to so many different people, so many things around your filming and the podcasting. It must be quite exciting.
Yeah, I guess so. I probably take it for granted in that respect. Yeah, I've worked with really high profile people, but to me, they're just people. So I don't really, feel like that.
So there's some celebrities in there.
Yeah,
There's
it doesn't.
some celebrities.
No, yeah.
But hey, you're just behind the screen.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So I kind of just treat them like normal people. And if they're nice, they're nice. And if they're not, then just get on with it.
Then they're not. They can just crack on. So what do you enjoy most? Is it the filming, the podcasting? How do you see it? And just tell us about the package.
I prefer when there's lots of action involved. So, working with athletes, sports, that would be my main interest, just because it allows you to be a bit more creative in terms of capturing it. But where podcasts really came into it was that you can get into a story a lot more. So you can really delve in and have that time to open up, basically. Whereas like with normal video, unless it's like a full documentary or something that's really long, it's quite hard to do.
Yeah, I totally get that. So your ambition for Pod and Paul, Louis, where do you see it? What do you want to do with it?
That's a really good question. It's just allowing people to tell their story in a professional way where it sounds good, it looks good. I see so many videos online where it just doesn't sound great and everyone just switches off at that point. You just can't listen to it. So just being able to facilitate that in lots of different locations and just allowing people to get their message out.
Superb. And what sort of businesses can come and talk to you, Louis, about if they wanted a podcast, if they wanted to do a little bit of filming? Who do you work with?
Anyone and everyone.
Anyone and everyone. I love it. I absolutely love it.
Yeah, I don't think there should be there's no one that, anyone that has a story to tell, that wants to get a message out, anything that's like complicated. I think that's what's so good about podcasts is that you can really delve in to the nitty gritty, which a lot of formats you can't do that. So it just allows them to really get to the detail.
So from sole trader right the way through to large organisation, anyone can have a chat with you, literally, on a podcast.
Pretty much.
But they can also discuss what they may want for their websites or social media and bits and pieces like that. And you'll be more than happy to talk them through. Louis, that's amazing. You're an absolute legend. Look at that. You've got no ego at all. It's just like, yeah, I can do that. It's not a problem. We're sitting here surrounded by microphones, TV, electronic equipment, cameras and everything else. You must be the significant knowledge in this industry, Louis, because I haven't a clue what I'm doing apart from talking into the speaker. I'd like to say a massive thank you to you. And once again, for helping us at Menta to deliver podcasts and also to look at the filming and the screening and supporting all of those small businesses which we've got out there. Having been asking all of the questions of people so far, it's now time for Louis to swap seats and ask me some questions.
Okay, let's do it.
So there we go, Louis. Let's swap the seats.
All right, let's swap. Oh.
And that started just how we mean to go on, with a crash and a bang. Thank you very much.
I'm so going to leave that in.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll just go straight in, yeah.
That's cool.
I feel like I should do it like you, but I'm not going to. I don't want to do that.
I thought this was going to be the start of it. I feel like I should be you. Okay, that would be weird.
It would. And no one wants to see me try to do that either. I think we'll just dive in then. So Alex, talk me through where you were before Menta.
Oh my goodness, Louis, that's a deep question. So before Menta, let's go right back to early years. I was always a bit of a nightmare, I guess, Louis, especially for my parents. Why? I'd swap everything. I'd see if I could make a deal. I'd try and sell my skateboards. I'd do anything just to give me that little bit of a hustle and a vibe. Even if I made a penny on it, I used to feel really invigorated and excited, which was often against the norm of my parents, who were quite cool, chilled out teachers. Who did not understand the world of business. And for me, everything was a hustle. I'd swap my marbles for a Pac-Man game for a CB for a Tamiya radio-controlled car, my Tamiya radio-controlled car for a BMX. I'd be constantly moving stuff around, and they would be more and more concerned that the other kids' parents wouldn't realise or even want them to have swapped it. So that's always been in my blood, Louis, if I'm honest with you. Then I got older, I'll be trading cars, still do, and BMXs and skateboards and all those sorts of things. So when I entered the world, yes, I've had some education, not the archetypal one. So I did an HND, and that was in business and finance and tourism. I then did a 1-year degree top up. Why? Because I was probably bored again and didn't want to spend hours doing a degree. And then I moved on into looking at how I could work in other organisations. So I worked for the Isle of Wight College. So we did quite a lot of work there, basically looking at SMEs, as they were known at the time, micro and small businesses. So we were looking at work over in Estonia and Lithuania and places like that. And looking at where those Eastern European cultures hadn't yet become westernized. So we were looking around how we could grow small businesses. We then moved on from there in terms of, I came up to Suffolk to do a 1-year role, Louis. 1 year I was supposed to be in Suffolk at the Port of Felixstowe, working with a range of different freight forwarders and hauliers, and then looking at how they develop their international opportunities. And once again, small businesses, looking at cash flow and all of those elements. And then I did some work with the French Racing School over in Chantilly in Paris, looking at basically a social enterprise for jockeys. So those who'd injured themselves during racing, they used to have a small business within it, which was funded through unclaimed bets. And this was way before the time of the internet. Wow. So little bits of paper. Yeah. People didn't take them back to the bookies, and there was about £250,000 a year which was never claimed. So that went into the organisation to support the injured jockeys. When the internet came on, that vanished. So we then looked at how we could develop that business and make sure that the jockeys were good. So I spent quite a bit of time working with the mayor of some other individuals to make that company work, which is still running today, which is fantastic. It's a very, very early stage social enterprise. Then did some work up in Biella, just up from Milan, which once again was looking at early stage textile industries for bleaching of garments and things, way before we were even looking at things like this in the UK. And then did some work in Leipzig around small and medium-sized development. So all of that transpired. I've done loads of stuff in between, Louis. This is a short version, I promise you. And then I used to manage the whole of the startup contract for Suffolk. So looking at how we supported those people going into business and starting a business. And I ran that for a period of time with Business Link. And then once again, there was changes and bits and pieces. And then the opportunity to come and work for MENTA as the CEO was available. It was something which I was passionate about. Early stage businesses, the micros, those under 5 employees, really where the hustle and the bustle, the everyday economy comes into space. That's where I've been really excited, and that's where I've been able to take the past 15 years of MENTA in terms of supporting those 25,000 micro businesses which are within Suffolk.
Wow, that's a lot to take in. So there's loads there. Why are you passionate about with small businesses in particular? Why are you passionate about that?
If I'm honest, Louis, the passionate piece around small business is the fact that they are driven by the individual's character. Okay. As soon as you get over the 10 employees, it then starts to become systems and processes, starts to slow you down, legislation, all of those bits and pieces. The businesses which seem to have the biggest level of innovation, the biggest level of expertise, the greatest level of opportunity and excitement, still keeps the excitement, are those under 9 employees, and specifically those with under 5. You can have real energy and real impact with them, and a lot of fun. It doesn't have to all be slowed down by systems and processes. Yes, you need them. Sounds like I'm not advocating it. You need them. Yeah. But actually working with those individuals who are, in their own right, excited by what they're doing. Mm-hmm. This hasn't become just a job. They're still very, very passionate about it. That's where I get my energy.
That makes a lot of sense. And at the moment, how are Menta supporting businesses?
Oh my goodness, Menta. So just to give you some stats, Louis, Menta's worked with about 55,000 plus startups, and we've given about 125,000 people skills and knowledge to go into self-employment. Menta will continuously look at how we support those new, emerging and existing micro businesses. We do it on a daily basis, from people ringing up to ask about making tax digital to others saying, I'm looking at starting a business, I've just been made redundant. We're there for that everyday economy. We're not high tech, high growth, although we will pass people on who are in that space. It's about your plasterers, your nail technicians, the guys who are mechanics. Those are the things which I get really excited about. Why? Because they're real people in real places, and they all have faces and lives and their communities. That's the really important bit, Louis.
Okay, and so based on all the businesses that you've worked with at Menta, give me one standout that's like just changed the way you see things.
Oh my goodness, the standout business. There's been lots, Louis. There's been lots. The other day, this isn't the business, but it's something which made me reflect. Was someone came in and they said, "You helped my grandfather start up in business." Which is a bit of a reality check, because that's like 3 generations
Yes.
from someone who was saying it. And then he went, and you helped my dad, and now you're helping me. That, for me, shows the test of time about what Menta has done. It shows that it's not just a product which we're offering. We've been here since 1984. We're now hitting generations, and we're enabling them to become more embedded and more excited about what they do. It was really nice to hear that we'd helped someone's grandfather. It was a shock. I suddenly thought, oh my goodness, we're really old. But actually, that knowledge, that ability, the way in which we've given them support to actually create lives, both grandfather and father, and now for the son, that for me is better than anything. And yes, we have got some which have gone global. They've developed certain things. We had an interesting one where we supported a lady who started out just doing things for pets, and then it turned into a slightly different business, and she ended up insuring killer whales over in America. So we see the growth and the change and everything else, but that's why I love it. And people will come back. We're not a membership, and I don't want us to be, so they can use our services as and when they need it. It's pick and mix. You know, we are like the Woolworths of business support. You can come and get it when you need it, but you know that it's there and it'll be solid and robust. But we have worked with so many different people, and we're sector agnostic. So if anybody wants any support, they can come and ask us.
Perfect. And if you could change anything in business right now, what would it be?
Oh my goodness, Louis, that's pretty deep. In the whole political environment, and one thing I haven't mentioned is I'm chairman for the National Enterprise Network, so we cover 98% of the country's not-for-profits, because Menta's are not-for-profit. Enterprise-related activities. So we were down with a small business minister. What would I change, Louis? One, there's 5.5 million micro businesses in the UK. We've just literally cut them off at the knees. We've increased minimum wage. Okay, we've then looked at employers' national insurance, which has had to go up. Pensions will have to go up as well. We've then looked at the business rates impact. That is actually causing significant turmoil for the micros and the small businesses across the UK PLC. We've then got government initiatives which are saying that we need to look at how we support younger people and the youth back into employment. Now, if we'd actually spun on its head and thought about this, we could be getting the micro businesses to employ the youth. We could be looking at how they're supported. We could be actually reducing the amount of burden on UK PLC and the small businesses by integrating these young people. And if we only had 1% uplift on 5.5 million small businesses, then we have economic growth and productivity, which is what the government's about. So at this moment in time, there's a few things which I would change. I think we still need to be driving forward the whole purpose of what UK economy is about, which is looking at young people, giving them skills, giving them talent, giving them opportunities, and making sure that the businesses which are already here are established and positioned. And then we can start looking at how we rebuild the high streets. Another agenda which, once again, should not be dominated by large retail, but should actually bring it back to the colloquialisms of local people delivering the fruit, the bread, the butchers, all of those sorts of things. Suddenly then brings it back into an amazing community space. That's where the passion is. But yeah, there are a number of things which potentially need to shift just to make it feel good and prosperous and engaged.
Perfect. Good stuff.
Thanks, Louis.
Thanks.
You're welcome.